As the world outside your window settles into the soft embrace of evening, imagine for a moment that you could slip into another way of seeing, not through human eyes, but through the luminous gaze of a cat. Tonight, we embark on a quiet journey together, one that asks nothing of you but stillness and perhaps a willingness to wonder. The cat who shares your home, or the one who wanders through your dreams, perceives a universe painted in different hues and textures than the one you know. Let this thought wrap around you like a warm blanket as we begin. There is something profoundly peaceful about the way a cat observes the world. Perhaps you have noticed it yourself in those quiet moments when your feline companion gazes out the window at something invisible to you. Their eyes, those remarkable orbs that seem to hold ancient secrets, are not merely looking. They are interpreting reality through a lens millions of years in the making. And if you find comfort in these whispered thoughts, you might consider staying with us on this channel, where gentle explorations like this one await you whenever sleep feels far away. The story of how cats came to see as they do stretches back through countless generations, winding through forests and savannas, through moonlit nights and sun-dappled afternoons. Their ancestors were twilight hunters, creatures who moved between day and night with equal grace. This heritage lives on in every domestic cat today, from the pampered Persian dozing on silk cushions to the barn cat keeping quiet vigil among hay bales. Each one carries within their eyes the same remarkable adaptations, the same gift for perceiving what remains hidden to us. Let us begin by simply appreciating the architecture of a cat's eye, not through clinical examination, but through gentle observation. If you have ever looked closely at your cat's face, you may have noticed how large their eyes appear in proportion to their head. This is no accident of nature, but rather a purposeful design, one that allows more light to enter and illuminate the visual world. Those proportions give cats an almost perpetually curious expression, as though they are forever on the verge of discovering something wonderful just beyond the next shadow. The iris of a cat's eye, that beautiful colored ring surrounding the dark pupil, operates like a masterfully designed aperture. In bright daylight, it contracts into a narrow vertical slit, protecting the sensitive interior from harsh illumination. But as evening descends and shadows lengthen, that slit expands into a wide, almost perfectly round opening, welcoming every available photon of light. This elegant mechanism allows cats to navigate seamlessly between the brilliant afternoon and the velvet depths of midnight, never truly disadvantaged in either realm. Behind that remarkable iris lies a curved lens, and behind that lens rests the retina, a delicate tapestry of light-sensitive cells. It is here, in this innermost chamber, where the magic truly begins. The cat's retina is densely populated with rod cells, the quiet workers of dim light vision. While we humans rely heavily on cone cells for our detailed, colorful daytime sight, cats have chosen a different path through evolution. They traded some of that vivid color perception for something equally precious: the ability to see clearly when we would see only darkness. Perhaps the most enchanting feature hidden within a cat's eye is a structure called the tapetum lucidum. This is the secret behind that mysterious glow you sometimes see when light catches your cat's gaze in a dim room. The tapetum is a reflective layer positioned behind the retina, acting like a mirror that bounces light back through the light-sensitive cells a second time. It effectively gives cats two chances to capture every precious photon. This is why their eyes seem to shine in darkness, not with their own light, but with borrowed luminescence. That gentle glow has inspired countless myths and legends throughout human history. Ancient peoples, seeing those shining eyes in the darkness, imagined cats possessed supernatural sight, or perhaps windows to other realms. While we now understand the science behind the shimmer, something of that ancient wonder remains. There is still a certain magic in watching your cat navigate a pitch-dark room with perfect confidence, moving gracefully around furniture and obstacles as though the shadows themselves were whispering directions into their delicate ears. As we settle deeper into this exploration, let your breathing slow to match the pace of our words. There is no hurry here, no urgency to absorb every detail. The facts about feline vision will wait patiently, like a cat watching a sunbeam creep across the floor. Scientists estimate that cats can see in light conditions roughly 6 times dimmer than what we require. Imagine walking through your home at twilight when the edges of furniture begin to blur and merge with shadow. To your cat, that same moment remains crisp and navigable, full of clear shapes and defined boundaries. This superior, low-light vision comes with its own gentle trade-offs, as all gifts in nature do. What cats gain in twilight clarity, they sacrifice in certain aspects of daytime sharpness. Their world, even at noon, appears slightly softer than ours, with edges less precisely defined. But perhaps this is not truly a limitation at all. Perhaps the cat's slightly blurred daytime world is simply a more peaceful one, where harsh edges are smoothed away and everything appears wrapped in the softest gauze. It is a world built for comfort rather than clinical precision. Gently now, let us turn our attention to the question of color, for this is where the cat's visual world diverges most noticeably from our own. For many years, people believed that cats lived in a world of pure black and white, like old photographs or silent films. This notion has since been revised by patient scientific inquiry. Cats do indeed perceive color, though their palette is more limited than ours. Their rainbow is quieter, painted in softer tones, with certain vivid hues muted to gentle whispers. The human eye contains 3 types of cone cells, each sensitive to different wavelengths of light, corresponding roughly to red, green, and blue. From these 3 primary inputs, our brains weave the rich tapestry of colors we experience daily. Cats, however, possess only 2 types of cone cells. They see the world much as a human with red-green color blindness might, though we must be careful not to assume their experience mirrors ours exactly. Their perception is uniquely their own, shaped by millions of years of feline evolution. Blues and yellows appear most vividly to the feline eye. A bright blue toy or a yellow ball stands out against the background with relative clarity, but reds and greens blend together into similar brownish or grayish tones, becoming almost indistinguishable. That vibrant red laser dot that seems to captivate your cat so completely is actually appearing to them in a muted shade, yet they chase it with abandon nonetheless. The movement, not the color, is what truly captures their attention. Consider, for a moment, a lush garden as a cat might experience it, where we see an explosion of greens, from emerald to lime to forest dark. A cat perceives a more uniform landscape of muted olive and khaki tones. The brilliant red roses that catch your eye would appear to a cat as darker blooms, perhaps brownish or deep amber, no more remarkable than the leaves surrounding them. Yet the bright yellow daffodils and the blue morning glories would stand apart, beacons of clarity in an otherwise subdued visual field. This muted color perception is not a flaw, but rather a deliberate evolutionary choice, if we can speak of evolution as making choices. By dedicating more of their retinal real estate to rod cells rather than cones, cats optimized for low light sensitivity at the expense of color richness. In the twilight hours when cats were most active as hunters, colors fade naturally anyway. A predator stalking through dusk does not need to distinguish red from green. They need to detect the slightest movement in the shadows. We might imagine that living in a world of softer colors would make life somehow less rich, less beautiful. But this is a human assumption, and it may not apply to feline experience at all. Cats likely find their visual world perfectly complete, lacking nothing essential. They do not miss the reds they cannot see any more than we miss the ultraviolet light that remains invisible to our own eyes. Each species inhabits a world tailored precisely to its needs, and that world feels whole. Research has suggested that while cats may not see the full spectrum we enjoy, their brains may compensate in subtle ways. The colors they do perceive might appear more saturated to them than they would to us. A blue sky, already within their visible range, could seem particularly vivid and lovely through feline eyes. We cannot know for certain what subjective experience a cat has when gazing at that blue expanse, but we can imagine it brings them some form of quiet pleasure. As we continue this gentle exploration, consider how color perception affects the toys and objects you choose for your cat. A red mouse toy, while charming to human eyes, might not stand out as clearly as a blue or yellow one would. This is not a call to reorganize your pet supplies, but merely an invitation to see, even for a moment, through another set of eyes. Understanding how differently your cat perceives their surroundings can deepen the quiet bond between you. There is something almost meditative about imagining the world through another creature's senses. It requires setting aside our own assumptions, our own deeply ingrained ways of seeing, and opening ourselves to possibility. The cat's color-reduced world is not lesser, it is simply different. In its own way, perhaps it is even calmer, free from the visual noise of clashing hues and competing brightness. A world painted in gentle blues and soft yellows, with everything else rendered in soothing earth tones. Let this knowledge settle softly into your awareness as we prepare to move forward. The cat beside you, whether real or imagined, sees a quieter rainbow than you do, but it is no less beautiful for its quietude. In the chapters ahead, we will explore other aspects of feline vision, each revealing new dimensions of how these remarkable creatures experience their world. For now, rest in the gentle understanding that colors, like so many things, are a matter of perspective. As we drift further into this nocturnal exploration, we arrive at perhaps the most remarkable aspect of feline vision, their extraordinary sensitivity to movement. While cats may see fewer colors and slightly less detail than we do, they more than compensate with an almost supernatural ability to detect motion. The slightest flicker at the edge of their vision, a trembling blade of grass, the barely perceptible scurry of a tiny creature across the floor, none of this escapes their watchful gaze. For a cat, the world is alive with subtle movements that we would never notice. This heightened motion sensitivity stems from the same rod cells that give cats their exceptional night vision. These cells are particularly adept at detecting changes in light and movement, even when the overall illumination is quite dim. The cat's brain is wired to prioritize this information, instantly drawing attention to anything that moves against the background. It is a survival mechanism refined over countless generations, turning every cat into a patient and observant presence, always aware of the subtle dance of life around them. Consider how this might feel to experience the world this way. Imagine sitting quietly in your living room, and while everything appears still to your human eyes, your cat beside you sees a universe of gentle motions. The dust motes drifting through a sunbeam, each one tracked and catalogued. The slight sway of a curtain in an imperceptible draft. The almost invisible flutter of a moth's wing somewhere in the shadows. To a cat, stillness is an illusion. Everything is always moving, however slightly, and they perceive it all. This is why your cat might suddenly snap to attention, staring intently at a seemingly empty corner of the room. They are not seeing ghosts or phantoms, but rather detecting some minute movement that lies far below your threshold of perception. Perhaps a tiny spider is making its patient way along the baseboard, or a shadow is shifting almost imperceptibly as clouds pass across the moon outside. The cat sees what we cannot, and this gives them an air of mystery that has fascinated humans throughout history. The cat's visual system processes movement at a rate that would overwhelm our human brains. They can detect flicker and motion that appears perfectly smooth and continuous to us. This is why older televisions, with their lower refresh rates, often failed to capture feline attention. The images appeared choppy and unnatural to them, a confusing strobe of unrelated still pictures. Modern screens with higher refresh rates are more likely to engage a cat, as the motion appears smoother and more lifelike to their discerning eyes. This acute motion sensitivity serves the cat not only in detecting potential prey, but also in navigating the physical world. When a cat leaps from one surface to another, their brain is performing incredibly rapid calculations, tracking the subtle movements of their target, adjusting for any sway or vibration. This is why cats rarely miss when they jump, even in dim light. Their motion-detecting abilities provide a constant stream of information about the spatial relationships between objects, far more detailed than what we experience. There is a meditative quality to watching a cat watch the world. Their stillness is not passive, but intensely active, every sense attuned to the environment around them. In this state, the cat embodies a kind of relaxed awareness that many meditation traditions encourage humans to cultivate. They are fully present, fully attentive, yet completely at ease. Perhaps there is something we can learn from this feline approach to observation, this patient attention to the subtle movements that make up the fabric of each moment. The peripheral vision of cats also plays a crucial role in their motion detection. While their forward-facing eyes give them excellent depth perception for judging distances, their wide field of view, spanning roughly 200 degrees, allows them to catch movement from nearly any direction. Even when they appear to be looking elsewhere, they remain aware of activity at the edges of their vision. This creates a kind of constant vigilance that requires no effort, a natural state of gentle alertness. In the wild, this motion sensitivity would have been essential for survival, allowing ancestral cats to detect approaching dangers as well as potential meals. But even in the safety of a modern home, where no predators lurk and dinner arrives in a bowl, cats retain this remarkable ability. It is built into their very being, inseparable from what makes a cat a cat. When your house cat tracks a floating feather with laser focus, they are drawing on the same ancient neural pathways that served their wild ancestors. As we gently transition from this exploration of motion sensitivity, take a moment to appreciate the complexity of vision that exists in the creature beside you. Every glance, every tracking movement of those beautiful eyes represents millions of years of refinement. The cat's ability to perceive the subtle dance of movement all around them is a gift of evolution, honed to perfection through countless generations. It connects them to a lineage stretching back through time, and it makes every moment they observe a rich tapestry of motion and meaning. Now let us consider how cats perceive the three-dimensional world around them, how they map the spaces they inhabit with such graceful precision. The position of a cat's eyes set forward on their face rather than to the sides like many prey animals gives them what is known as binocular vision. This means both eyes can focus on the same object simultaneously, and from the slight difference between what each eye sees, the brain constructs a vivid sense of depth. This is why cats judge distances with such remarkable accuracy. Watch a cat prepare to leap from one surface to another, and you will witness this depth perception in action. There is often the characteristic bobbing motion of the head just before the jump, as though the cat is measuring and remeasuring the gap. This movement helps them triangulate the distance more precisely, gathering additional spatial information through parallax. It is a small ritual of preparation, a moment of focused calculation before the graceful arc through empty air that seems so effortless to our eyes. The zone of binocular overlap in cats, where both eyes can see the same point in space, extends roughly 120 degrees directly in front of them. This is wider than in humans and gives cats an excellent range for judging distances to objects ahead. Beyond this central zone, each eye sees independently, extending that total field of view to nearly 200 degrees. It is a panoramic awareness that combines focused depth perception with broad peripheral sensitivity. This sophisticated spatial awareness explains why cats are such masterful navigators of complex environments. They can thread through cluttered spaces without disturbing objects, leap onto narrow ledges with perfect precision, and judge exactly how far they can stretch to reach a tempting morsel. Every surface in their environment is mentally mapped, its distance and relationship to other surfaces calculated and stored. The home that seems so familiar to you is, to your cat, a complex three-dimensional puzzle they have thoroughly mastered. Interestingly, there is one area where feline depth perception shows a gentle limitation. Objects very close to their face, within a few inches, become difficult for cats to see clearly. This is why your cat might seem to lose track of a treat placed directly under their nose. At such close range, they rely more on their whiskers and sense of smell than on their eyes. It is a charming reminder that even these visual masters have their blind spots, quite literally in this case. The whiskers, or vibrissae, serve as an extension of the cat's visual system for this near-range navigation. These remarkable sensory organs can detect the slightest changes in air currents and vibrations, essentially painting a tactile picture of whatever lies too close for the eyes to focus upon. When a cat delicately explores an object with their whiskers, they are reading its shape and texture with extraordinary precision. Vision and touch work together seamlessly, creating a complete picture of the world. As the night grows deeper and your eyelids perhaps grow heavier, consider how the cat's perception of space might feel from the inside. Imagine moving through a world where every surface broadcasts its distance to you with perfect clarity, where you could leap 6 feet through the air and land on a ledge barely wider than your paw with complete confidence. The cat's world is one of absolute spatial certainty, each jump a known quantity, each pathway mapped in 3 dimensions with elegant precision. This spatial mastery extends to understanding the geometry of hiding places and pathways. Cats instinctively know whether they can fit through a narrow gap, whether a box will provide adequate concealment, whether the space beneath the bed offers a suitable retreat. They seem to carry a 3-dimensional map of every environment they frequent, updated constantly as objects move or new elements are introduced. Your cat likely knows your home better than you do, at least in terms of its navigable topography. There is a quiet confidence in how cats move through space that speaks to this deep understanding. They do not hesitate at ledges or second-guess their ability to navigate obstacles. Each step is placed with certainty, each leap launched with full commitment. This is not recklessness, but rather profound trust in their own perceptual abilities. They know what they can see, and they know they can rely upon that vision to guide them safely through even the most complex environments. As we prepare to move onward in our gentle exploration, carry with you this appreciation for how completely cats understand the physical spaces they inhabit. Their eyes are not merely windows for light, but sophisticated instruments for mapping reality in 3 dimensions. Every room they enter becomes a known quantity, every obstacle a calculated challenge. This spatial intelligence, combined with their remarkable motion sensitivity and unique color perception, creates a rich and nuanced visual experience we can only imagine. Let us turn now to a question that perhaps holds special wonder. How do cats see us, their human companions? When your cat gazes up at your face, what do they perceive? The answer is both humbling and heartwarming. Research suggests that cats do recognize individual humans, though not primarily through the visual details of our faces as we might assume. They know us through a symphony of senses. our scent, our voice, the particular way we move through space, and yes, our general visual appearance as well. From a cat's perspective, we humans are rather peculiar creatures. We tower above them like gentle giants, our movements slow and often predictable compared to the quick darting of prey animals. Our faces, so expressive and important to our own social communication, may appear somewhat flat and unremarkable to feline eyes. Cats have not evolved to read human facial expressions as dogs have through their longer domestication. Yet they do learn to associate our faces with comfort, with food, with the warmth of companionship. Interestingly, cats may pay more attention to our overall body shape and the way we move than to the specific features of our faces. They recognize the silhouette of their favorite human, the characteristic gait, the familiar gestures. When you walk into a room, your cat likely identifies you by this full-body signature before any details of your face become relevant. We are known to them as whole beings, not as collections of facial features, and perhaps this is a more holistic way of seeing. Studies have shown that cats can distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar humans through visual cues alone, though they are even more accurate when scent is involved. Your cat knows you by a combination of how you look, how you smell, and how you sound. This multi-sensory recognition creates a rich and reliable sense of identity that goes beyond any single sense. When your cat greets you at the door, they have already confirmed your identity through multiple channels before you even speak. The soft focus of a cat's daytime vision means that small details of human faces may be less distinct to them than they are to us. The wrinkles that mark our years, the precise color of our eyes, the subtle differences between one smile and another, these may blend into a general impression rather than standing out as specific features. Yet, this gentle blurring does not prevent recognition. It simply means cats see us differently, perhaps more impressionistically, like figures in a watercolor painting. There is something beautiful in knowing that your cat's perception of you is so intimately connected to your physical presence in space, the warmth you radiate, the sounds you make. You are not merely an image to your cat, but a complete sensory experience. When they curl up beside you, they are surrounded by everything that defines you in their world. Your heartbeat, your scent, the familiar rhythm of your breathing all contribute to their sense of who you are and how much you matter to them. Cats are remarkably attuned to the emotional states of their humans, though not necessarily through reading our facial expressions. They notice changes in our movement patterns, alterations in our voice, shifts in our behavior. A cat may not understand why you are sad, but they can sense that something has changed in the energy you bring to the space you share. Many cats respond to these changes by seeking closer physical proximity, offering their quiet presence as a form of comfort. When a cat makes eye contact with you and slowly blinks, they are offering what researchers have termed a cat kiss, a gesture of trust and affection. This slow blink, where the eyes close gently and then reopen, signals that the cat feels safe enough in your presence to momentarily surrender their visual vigilance. It is a profound compliment in feline terms. You might try returning the gesture. Many cats will blink back, and in that silent exchange, a small bridge of understanding is built between species. The relationship between a cat and their human is built on thousands of these small visual and sensory exchanges, accumulated over days and months and years. Each time you move through the shared spaces of your home, each time you speak in your familiar voice, each time you offer food or play or simply sit quietly nearby, you are reinforcing your identity in your cat's perception. You become a fixed point in their world, as reliable and comforting as the sun that warms their favorite sleeping spot. As we transition from this contemplation of how cats see us, rest in the gentle knowledge that you are fully known to your feline companion, not just as a visual image, but as a complete presence in their life. They may not see your face with perfect clarity, but they know you in ways that perhaps go deeper than mere visual recognition. You are warmth and safety and sustenance and companionship, all wrapped into one beloved figure who shares their world. Deep within every domestic cat, no matter how pampered or peaceful their life, lives the spirit of a patient observer, an ancestral inheritance from countless generations of twilight watchers. This part of their nature is written in the very structure of their eyes, in the neural pathways that process visual information, in the instincts that no amount of comfortable domestication can fully erase. When your cat crouches by the window, watching birds with intense focus, they are channeling this ancient aspect of themselves. This observational instinct, which in the wild would translate to patient stalking behavior, manifests in domestic cats as an extraordinary capacity for stillness and attention. A cat can remain motionless for remarkable lengths of time, every sense focused on a single point of interest. This is not mere distraction or idle curiosity, but a profound engagement with the visual world, a state of heightened awareness that would have served their ancestors well in the long hours of waiting that preceded each successful catch. The feline visual system is exquisitely tuned to detect the kinds of movements that would indicate small creatures going about their business. The quick dart of a mouse, the flutter of a bird's wing, the subtle rustle of something moving through grass, all of these patterns trigger an immediate response in the cat's brain. Even in play, when your cat pounces on a feather toy or chases a rolling ball, they are practicing these ancient visual tracking skills, keeping their perceptual abilities sharp. There is a particular quality of attention that comes over a cat when they spot something that triggers these deep-seated responses. The ears rotate forward like small radar dishes, the pupils expand to gather maximum information, and the whole body adopts a lowered, tensed posture. This is not aggression or anxiety, but rather a beautiful example of focused engagement, the complete absorption of awareness into a single task. It is a state that some meditation practitioners spend years trying to achieve. In nature, this patient observation serves a vital purpose in the cycle of life. Cats, like all predators, play an essential role in maintaining ecological balance, keeping populations of small creatures in check and ensuring the health of ecosystems. We might soften our understanding of this by recognizing that all life participates in this great exchange, each creature both sustaining and being sustained by others. The cat's watchful eyes are part of this natural order, as ancient and necessary as the turning of seasons. For indoor cats, This observational instinct finds outlets that are perhaps gentler but no less absorbing. The dance of shadows on a wall, the mysterious movements visible through a window, even the flickering images on a television screen can capture their attention completely. Some cats become devoted window watchers, spending hours monitoring the activity outside with the same intensity their wild cousins bring to actual stalking. The instinct remains, even when the context has shifted to something more peaceful. The chattering sound that some cats make when watching birds, that peculiar rapid movement of the jaw, may be a remnant of the precise biting motion used by their ancestors, or it may be an expression of excitement and frustration at being unable to reach their target. Whatever its origin, it is a charming reminder of the wildness that persists in these creatures who share our homes. They may sleep on our beds and eat from ceramic bowls, but their inner landscape contains territories we can never fully visit. Interactive play serves an important function in satisfying these deep observational and pursuit instincts. When you drag a string across the floor or wave a feather wand through the air, you are allowing your cat to express aspects of their nature that might otherwise go unfulfilled. The visual tracking, the calculations of distance and timing, the final pounce, all of these activities engage the full capacity of their remarkable visual system. Play, in this sense, is a form of nurturing the whole cat. After the excitement of play or watching, cats often settle into a deep and restorative sleep. This pattern of intense engagement, followed by profound rest, mirrors the rhythm that would have characterized their ancestors' lives in the wild. The energy spent in patient observation and sudden action must be replenished through equally patient sleep. And so the cat curls into a warm ball, eyes finally closing, the visual world fading into dreams where perhaps the ancient pursuits continue in some form. As we leave this contemplation of the cat's observational nature, we might recognize that this quality of patient attention is something worth appreciating in its own right. The cat does not hurry through their observations or grow impatient with stillness. They embody a kind of presence that our busy human minds often struggle to achieve. In watching a cat watch the world, we are reminded of a different way of being, one that finds richness in attention itself, rather than always racing toward the next thing. As the night deepens around us, let us consider what happens when those remarkable feline eyes finally close in sleep. Cats spend a significant portion of their lives in slumber, sometimes resting for 16 hours or more in a single day. This extensive rest is not laziness, but rather a biological necessity, allowing them to conserve energy for the bursts of activity their bodies are designed to perform. And during this sleep, fascinating things happen within their visual systems. Like humans, cats experience different stages of sleep, including periods of rapid eye movement that suggest they are dreaming. During these phases, you might notice your sleeping cat's eyes moving beneath their closed lids, their whiskers twitching, perhaps even their paws making small running or grasping motions. These movements hint at an inner visual world, a dream landscape where the experiences of waking life are replayed and processed in mysterious ways. We cannot know with certainty what cats dream about, but research suggests that many animals replay the activities of their waking hours during sleep. Your cat may be dreaming of chasing shadows across the floor, of watching birds through the window, of the comforting sight of your face when you enter the room. These visual memories, processed and consolidated during sleep, become part of the cat's learned experience, shaping how they will perceive and respond to the world when they wake. Sleep serves an important function in maintaining the health of the visual system itself. During rest, the eyes are protected from light and allowed to recover from the constant work of perceiving the world. The neural pathways that process visual information are strengthened and refined. Memories are moved from short-term to long-term storage, including the visual memories that help cats recognize familiar places, objects, and beings. Sleep is, in a sense, the gardener that tends the landscape of perception. Cats have a fascinating ability to remain partially alert, even while sleeping. Their ears may continue to rotate towards sounds, and they can wake from deep sleep to full alertness in an instant if something triggers their attention. This vigilance, even in rest, speaks to the survival instincts built into their visual and auditory systems. They can afford to sleep deeply because they trust their senses to wake them if needed. It is a kind of relaxed awareness that serves them well. The third eyelid of the cat, a translucent membrane called the nictitating membrane, often becomes visible during sleep. This protective layer sweeps across the eye horizontally, keeping it moist and shielded even when the main eyelids are partially open. If you have ever seen your cat sleeping with their eyes slightly open, revealing a sliver of this milky membrane, you have glimpsed one of the subtle protections that guard their precious visual organs during their most vulnerable hours. The rhythm of a cat's sleep schedule is tied to their crepuscular nature, their evolutionary preference for the twilight hours of dawn and dusk. This is when their visual systems are most perfectly suited to the environment, neither too bright nor too dark. Domestic cats may adjust their schedules somewhat to match their human companions, sleeping when the household sleeps, but that deep-seated rhythm remains. They are creatures of the in-between times, the gentle transitions from day to night. There is something deeply comforting about watching a cat sleep. Their complete surrender to rest, the perfect relaxation of every muscle, the peaceful expression on their face, all of this invites us into a similar state of calm. If you are listening to these words as a way to find your own sleep, perhaps the image of a peacefully slumbering cat can serve as a guide. Their ability to let go completely into rest is a skill worth emulating. When a cat wakes from sleep, there is often a moment of orienting, of gathering visual information about the world they are returning to. They may blink slowly, allowing their eyes to adjust, then survey their surroundings with that characteristic calm alertness. This transition from the inner world of sleep to the outer world of perception happens smoothly, each sense coming back online in its own time. It is a gentle awakening that we might learn from. As we continue our journey through the night, carrying with us these images of sleeping cats and dreaming minds, we approach the deeper hours when sleep becomes most profound. The world outside your window may be dark and still, but the visual systems of cats everywhere continue their quiet work, processing, consolidating, preparing for the next day's observations. Even in rest, the eyes remain remarkable instruments, ready to open again and perceive the world with fresh clarity. Let us now broaden our perspective to consider how cat vision compares to that of other creatures who share our world. Every species has evolved its own unique way of seeing, adapted to its particular needs and lifestyle. The cat's visual system, remarkable as it is, represents just one solution to the challenge of perceiving reality. Understanding this diversity can help us appreciate even more the specific gifts that feline eyes bring to the experience of being alive. Dogs, those other beloved companions who share our homes, see the world quite differently from cats. While both species are dichromats, seeing a limited color range, dogs have poorer night vision than cats and less acute motion detection. However, dogs have a wider field of view and may be slightly better at seeing distant objects. Each set of eyes evolved to serve different hunting strategies, the dog's endurance pursuit versus the cat's patient ambush approach. Birds of prey possess visual acuity that far exceeds both cats and humans. An eagle can spot a small creature from heights that would render it completely invisible to feline eyes. This extreme sharpness comes at the cost of night vision. Most raptors are diurnal, restricted to hunting during daylight hours. The cat trades some of this daytime precision for the ability to hunt effectively in twilight and darkness, a different but equally valid strategy for survival. Owls, those other masters of night vision, have eyes that rival or exceed cats' abilities in darkness. Their enormous forward-facing eyes gather light with impressive efficiency, and some species can detect prey in conditions that would seem like complete blackness to us. Unlike cats, owls cannot move their eyes within their sockets and must turn their entire heads to look around. The cat's mobile eyes, able to track movement without moving the head, offer a different kind of advantage. Many insects see wavelengths of light invisible to cats and humans alike. Bees perceive ultraviolet patterns on flowers that guide them to nectar, patterns that remain completely hidden from feline eyes. Butterflies may see an even broader spectrum. In this sense, the world of flowers appears fundamentally different to an insect than it does to a cat, each creature inhabiting a visual reality shaped by its own biological needs. Neither view is more correct. They are simply different. Some creatures, like the mantis shrimp, possess visual systems so complex they almost defy human understanding. With 16 types of color receptors compared to our 3, they perceive a rainbow we cannot even imagine. Other creatures rely on senses beyond sight entirely, navigating by sound like bats or by electrical fields like certain fish. The cat's reliance on vision, while profound, represents just one pathway through the vast possibilities of perception that life has explored. Even among cats, there is variation in visual ability. Big cats like lions and tigers have eyes adapted for different environments than domestic cats. Wild cats of various species have evolved subtle differences to match their particular habitats, from dense jungle to open savanna. Yet all share the fundamental feline blueprint, those vertical pupils, that reflective tapetum, that abundance of rod cells. They are variations on a theme, like different versions of the same beautiful song. Human vision, while lacking the night sensitivity of cats, offers its own unique gifts. Our trichromatic color vision, the full range of reds, greens, and blues, allows us to perceive a rich tapestry of hues that cats can only partially access. Our ability to focus on fine details, to read small text, and distinguish subtle patterns exceeds that of our feline companions. Each species has been given the eyes it needs, shaped by the demands of its particular way of being in the world. What emerges from this comparison is not a hierarchy of vision, but rather an appreciation for diversity. No single way of seeing is objectively best. Each is perfectly suited to its owner's needs. The cat does not suffer for lacking our color range any more than we suffer for lacking their night vision. Each of us inhabits a complete perceptual world, adapted through countless generations to meet the challenges of our particular existence. There is wisdom in recognizing this completeness. As we continue our gentle exploration, carry with you this expanded sense of visual possibility. The cat beside you sees a world you can never directly experience, just as you perceive dimensions of reality forever hidden from them. Yet you share the same space, the same moments, the same bond of companionship. Perhaps it is enough to know that multiple versions of reality exist side by side, each valid, each beautiful, each complete unto itself. In this diversity, there is a kind of wonder. Throughout human history, cultures around the world have been fascinated by the eyes of cats. Those luminous orbs glowing in the darkness have inspired myths and legends, superstitions, and sacred beliefs. The Egyptians revered cats as divine creatures, their eyes seen as miniature suns that could hold light even in the deepest darkness. Other cultures attributed magical powers to feline vision, believing cats could see spirits, prophecy, or hidden truths invisible to human perception. While we now understand the science behind the cat's remarkable vision, something of that ancient wonder persists. There remains a mystery in those eyes that scientific explanation does not fully dispel. When a cat stares at a seemingly empty corner, when their pupils suddenly expand in response to something we cannot perceive, it is difficult not to feel that perhaps they are indeed seeing something beyond our ken. Science and wonder need not be enemies. Japanese folklore speaks of the bakeneko, cats who gain supernatural abilities with age, their eyes becoming windows to other realms. European tales tell of witches' familiars, cats whose eyes served as mystical sensors for hidden knowledge. Even in modern times, many people feel that their cats can sense things beyond normal perception, from approaching storms to emotional states to the arrival of visitors. Perhaps this intuition stems from recognizing just how different feline perception truly is. Artists throughout the ages have attempted to capture the peculiar quality of feline eyes in their work. From ancient cave paintings to Renaissance masterpieces to contemporary photography, the challenge of depicting those luminous, mysterious orbs has inspired countless creators. There is something in those eyes that seems to hold depths beyond what mere paint or pixels can convey, an inner life that gazes back at the viewer with knowing calm. Writers, too, have found endless fascination in exploring how cats might see and experience the world. From T.S. Eliot's playful cats to the mystical felines of Japanese literature, the attempt to imagine feline consciousness has produced some of literature's most enchanting passages. Perhaps we are drawn to this exercise precisely because it is impossible. We can never truly know what it is like to see through those eyes, and this unknowability invites endless imagination. The philosopher Thomas Nagel famously asked what it is like to be a bat, using this question to explore the limits of human understanding. We might equally ask what it is like to be a cat, to perceive the world through those twilight-adapted eyes. The answer, ultimately unknowable, points to a profound truth. Each conscious being inhabits its own subjective reality, and we can only ever glimpse the edges of another's experience. There is humility in this realization. Yet, perhaps the impossibility of fully understanding feline perception is itself a gift. It preserves the mystery that makes cats such compelling companions. If we could download every detail of their visual experience, would they still enchant us as deeply? The veil between our worlds, thin enough to allow love and companionship to flow freely, remains thick enough to preserve wonder. And wonder, as the ancient philosophers knew, is the beginning of all wisdom. In our modern world of scientific explanation, there is still room for the kind of gentle awe that our ancestors felt when gazing into those luminous eyes. Understanding how the tapetum lucidum reflects light does not diminish the magic of seeing those eyes glow in the darkness. Knowledge and wonder can coexist, each enriching the other. Perhaps the deepest wisdom comes from holding both scientific understanding and reverent appreciation together, never letting one eclipse the other entirely. As the hours grow late and sleep begins to beckon more insistently, let these thoughts of ancient wonder carry you toward rest. The cat's eyes have watched over human nights for thousands of years, keeping their silent vigil as civilizations rose and fell. There is comfort in this continuity, in knowing that the same luminous gaze that fascinated the builders of pyramids still shines in the pet sleeping at the foot of your bed. Some mysteries endure. Perhaps tonight, as you drift toward sleep, the image of those ancient, knowing eyes will accompany you into dreams. The cat's vision, spanning twilight and darkness with equal ease, offers a kind of metaphor for the journey into sleep itself, that transition from the bright waking world into the softer, more mysterious realm of rest. Let the cat be your guide through this liminal space, their eyes lighting the way into peaceful slumber. And now, as we approach the end of our journey through feline vision, let the pace of these words slow even further. The explorations are complete, the discoveries made, and all that remains is the gentle descent into rest. Like a cat who has finished their evening patrol and now seeks the perfect spot to sleep, you too can begin to settle into stillness. The remarkable eyes we have discussed tonight can close now, having done their work of showing you wonders. The night outside is deep now, wrapped in the kind of velvety darkness that cats navigate with such grace. If you were to look through their eyes at this moment, you would see a world of soft shapes and gentle shadows, nothing harsh or bright to disturb the peace. This is the hour when the cat's visual gifts come into their fullest expression. when they can see the quiet beauty of the night that remains hidden from our more light-dependent eyes. Let your own eyes grow heavy now. They have served you well today, taking in countless images, processing an endless stream of light and color. Like the cat's eyes, your eyes deserve rest, a chance to retreat behind closed lids and allow the visual system to quiet. As the darkness behind your eyelids becomes a comforting presence rather than an absence, you might find sleep waiting there, patient and welcoming as a cat in a warm spot of sun. In the darkness behind closed eyes, there is a special kind of seeing. The visual cortex, freed from processing the outside world, begins to generate its own images, the first whispers of dreams. Perhaps you will dream of cats tonight, of their luminous eyes and graceful movements, of the secret world they perceive that we have tried to understand. These dreams, should they come, will be gentle ones, carrying you deeper into restorative sleep. Somewhere in your home or in your imagination, a cat is curling into their own sleep now. Their remarkable eyes, having watched the evening fade and the night deepen, are closing slowly. The tapetum lucidum, that reflective mirror that catches every stray photon, is hidden now behind soft fur and delicate lids. The world of vision gives way to the world of dreams, where cats may chase phantom creatures across landscapes only they can see. The thoughts that have occupied your mind tonight can begin to dissolve now, like morning mist rising from a meadow. The facts about rod cells and cone cells, about tapetum lucidum and dichromatic vision, need not be held consciously anymore. They have settled into your memory, ready to be recalled should you ever want them. For now, let the thinking mind grow quiet. Let the endless stream of thoughts slow to a gentle trickle, then to stillness. Your breath has perhaps slowed already, matching the peaceful rhythm of these words. Each exhale releases a little more tension, a little more of the day's accumulated weight. Each inhale draws in the quiet of the night. This is the rhythm that cats know instinctively, the natural tempo of rest that their bodies settle into with such ease. You can follow this rhythm now, letting it carry you like gentle waves toward the shore of sleep. The world continues to turn outside your window, but here in this moment, time seems to soften and slow. The same stars that ancient cats watched are shining still, the same moon casting its silver light. You are held in the vast quiet of night, surrounded by the peaceful darkness that cats find so comfortable. There is nothing you need to do now, nothing to figure out or remember. Only rest, only sleep, only the gentle letting go. If a cat is sleeping near you now, you might sense the rhythm of their breathing, that slow and steady pattern that speaks of complete surrender to rest. Let their peace be contagious, spreading through the shared air between you. Cats are masters of sleep, approaching it not as a chore, but as a pleasure. They can teach us something about this essential art, about the willingness to let go completely and trust that waking will come in its own good time. The journey we have taken tonight through the remarkable landscape of feline perception has been a gentle one. We have explored how cats see light and darkness, color and movement, space and depth. We have considered how they perceive us, their human companions, and how their ancient eyes connect them to a lineage stretching back through time. All of this knowledge can rest now, held softly in memory while the conscious mind prepares to sleep. And so we arrive at the end of our exploration, though truly there is no end to the wonder that feline eyes contain. The cat beside you, real or imagined, continues their own mysterious existence, perceiving the world in ways we can appreciate but never fully share. This mystery is part of what makes cats such precious companions. As you drift into sleep, carry with you the gentle image of those luminous eyes, peaceful and knowing, watching over your rest. Sleep now. Let the night enfold you in its quiet embrace. The remarkable world of cat vision will be here when you wake, ready to be wondered at again. For now, there is only the darkness, soft and welcoming as a cat's fur. There is only the breath, slow and easy. There is only this moment, this peace, this gentle drifting into dreams. The cats of the world, with their ancient eyes, are watching over the night. You are safe. You are held. You are home. Rest well. In the stillness that follows, there is nothing more to learn or understand. The knowledge of feline vision has settled into you like sediment drifting to the floor of a calm pond. Your thoughts, if any remain, float like leaves on still water, going nowhere in particular, requiring nothing. The cat, that ancient companion of human nights, continues their quiet existence somewhere in the world, seeing what we cannot see, knowing what we cannot know. Perhaps in some quiet corner of the house, a cat is stirring, rising from their own rest to make a silent patrol through the darkness. Their luminous eyes take in the familiar shapes of furniture and doorways, seeing everything clearly where we would fumble in blindness. This guardian presence, so natural to the nocturnal world, has watched over human homes for thousands of years. You are part of this ancient tradition now, resting under the watchful gaze of feline protectors. The hours stretch ahead like a calm sea, each one bringing you deeper into restorative sleep. Your body knows what to do now. It has done this countless times before. The muscles relax, the heartbeat slows, the breath becomes shallow and even. Like a cat who has mastered the art of perfect rest, you surrender to the wisdom of the body, trusting it to guide you through the night toward the renewal of morning. If dreams come to you tonight, they may carry echoes of what we have explored together. Perhaps you will dream of walking through a twilight garden, seeing it through eyes that find the darkness welcoming rather than obscuring. Perhaps you will dream of the slow blink of a contented cat, that gesture of trust and affection passed between species. Whatever dreams arise, they will be gentle ones, born from this gentle journey we have shared. The world continues its slow rotation, carrying the night across continents and oceans. Somewhere, dawn is breaking, and cats are rising from their rest to greet the new light. But here, in your corner of the planet, the darkness remains deep and welcoming. You have hours yet before morning comes, hours of peaceful sleep stretching ahead like a soft road through gentle hills. There is time, there is always enough time for rest. And now, truly, there is nothing more to say. The story of feline vision has been told, the mysteries explored, the wonders shared. What remains is silence, the kind of productive silence in which sleep grows and deepens. Let these final words fade like the last notes of a lullaby, leaving only the soft ringing of peace in their wake. The cat understands this silence, finds comfort in it. You can too. Rest now. Dream gently. Wake renewed. The luminous eyes of the cat, those remarkable windows to a different way of seeing, close now in the theater of your imagination. Behind those gentle lids, a universe of feline experience continues in dreams. And behind your own closing eyes, a universe of human experience finds its rest. Two different ways of being, two different ways of seeing, sharing the same peaceful night. The mystery continues, the wonder remains, and sleep at last arrives. Silence, darkness, peace, the gentle rhythm of breath, the slow beating of the heart, the profound rest that comes only in the deepest night. You have journeyed far tonight, through the remarkable landscape of feline perception, and now you rest. The cats of the world rest with you, their ancient eyes closed, their dreams unfolding in private theaters of the mind. Tomorrow will bring new light, new sights, new wonders. But for now, there is only this perfect peace. Sleep well, dear traveler. Sleep well.